my scrappy friends, a big welcome to my channel today. So this share is for the Traci Reed Designs design team. I'm playing with, this is a bit of an older collection. It's called, let me see if I can remember, Libris Galaxias. As you can see, it is book themed, but when I saw this collection, I was like, it's not only book themed, it's got a really strong, like, magic Harry Potter thing happening here. So I'm playing along with Sketchy Sunday, which today's is number 11, I think. And I've got two photos of my eldest reading Harry Potter books. These are the two photos here. So the left was taken on his birthday in 2020. The right was taken December last year. And I've gone through and shown you all of what I've got here. The first bit that I showed you was on my Cameo, and I used the stamps in this collection to get my Cameo to sketch gold foil onto this black cardstock. I got really good results using the biggest of the three foil nib things. So yeah, what I did was open the PNG format of this particular file in the Silhouette Studio, and then I just sent it through the Cameo as a sketch design. So I've also printed a bunch of the papers, you can see. So these books are actually one of the stickers, and I blew it up really big. I actually had to cut it on two different pieces of paper because I wanted to print and cut. And so I blew it up as big as I wanted it because I'm using the sketch as a starting off point. I wanted those books to be like the strips of pattern paper that go underneath. I do end up covering a lot of them up, but I really love the way this layout turned out. So what I did was I used my knife tool to cut the books in half, and I printed half on one sheet of paper and then the other half on a second sheet of paper. I also printed some of the Traveler's Notebook papers, and I just shrunk them down so they were 3.5 inches wide. But then as I started creating, I was like, this isn't quite working how I wanted it to, so I've gone back and I've cut some Traveler's Notebook papers at proper Traveler's Notebook paper sizes, and also some of the 3x4 cards. So I've got quite a lot of different versions of the pattern papers here, but that's what I'm using for all of my layers and behind my photo. I was having a really hard time getting this all lined up how I wanted it. So what I've got here is some mint tape from scrapbook.com, and I just found that it was a really awesome way to not stick everything down but have it all stay together so that I didn't have to keep reshuffling it. You've probably noticed already in a couple of places my videos jump forward. I was having some issues with the storage on my phone again. So that's what that is. And this layout, I had this idea in my head and it's come out better than what I thought it would, which is awesome. But my goodness me, it was one of those pages where just nothing wanted to work for me. I don't know what the struggle was, but there was definitely a struggle. I got there in the end, and like I said, I'm really happy with the way the page came together. But yeah, so this is one of the struggles I had. You can see I'm laying all my papers back down. You can see I'm moving them around, and I'm like, I don't like the way these papers are lining up. They're too square. I can see this here. That's too lined up with that bit. And I do cut a lot of this footage out because it's just not fun watching me shift papers 14,000 times because that corner's too lined up with that corner. Yeah, so you can see that's exactly what I'm doing right now. I'm getting really frustrated. I'm going to stick with it for a little while though, and then I end up I think turning the camera off. I can't remember. But so here I go, pulling things up. Traci, thank you very much for giving me permission to pull things up after I've glued it down. Yes. I've seen you do that more than once, and like as I was creating this page, I swear I was channeling my inner Traci Reed. If you haven't watched any of her videos, I do recommend that you do go over and watch them. Yeah. Not only are Traci's collections awesome, but so are her pages and the way that she scrapbooks. Yeah, the way that she scrapbooks, and you know, if it's not in the right place, she'll just pull it up again. It's great. So I've got my photos with the 3x4 card that I have mounted behind them, all stuck together, and that Traveler's Notebook Galaxy paper. I love that. That's all stuck together, and I'm moving that around as one piece. I wasn't happy with the way these were layering, so I'm pulling it all up and relayering it. And like I said, I'm not keeping a lot of this footage in. It's just not fun to watch. Using my T-square ruler to make sure what I want straight is straight. I did also ink the edges of all the papers, the books, the photos, and some of like the, I guess they're ephemera now because they're not stickers, but there's stickers in the collection. I've also used the actual digital kit. The wood pieces are from the digital kit that obviously I've printed and cut out at home. I don't think there's anything else from the kit. No, there is. In the digital kit, there's also the alphas that I use. I use the HP is from this collection. You'll see that when I do my embellishing. And so are the glasses and the little lightning bolt. So getting all my corners lined up how I want them here, and you can see I'm still fussing around with it. I'm like, nope, that's not right. No, that's not. What am I going to do? Bringing in the T-square again, making sure everything's lined up. Making sure nothing is, you know, lined up in exactly the same place. And I'm sticking it down. Yay. Alright, so skip forward. And I'm onto my embellishing. Now I wanted to put something on the right hand side here, and I couldn't work out what I wanted. I end up going with this pattern here. I love all the colours on it. I've cut it into strips, and you can see I'm just going to stick that end to end, and I'm just covering up like one whole library card, and I'm going to stick this to the back of my page. Trim it off, and I'm just going to leave that for a little while. I just want to make sure that glue is properly dry, and I'll come back to that in a minute. This was originally what I was going to use for my title, which I really like, but I just felt like it was too dark and too heavy, and you'll see in a minute that I do change that. But once I started putting that on, I'm like, I've got all these other embellishments, I need to put those on too. Let me see what I've got. So I've got that little bookshelf, which I really love. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do with that. But here are the glasses and the other wooden embellishments that I was telling you about, and the lightning bolt. I actually did a little bit of designing in the Silhouette Studio, just to get an idea of how big I wanted things to be in comparison to other parts, and so that I had a pretty good idea of how I could layer things up to get some interesting clusters. So like I said to you, this page was a really tricky page. Like, I don't know what it was. I was just struggling to get this to come together for me. Lifting things up, moving things, trimming things down, like just all of the things. You can see I'm just trying to get that into just the right place. I didn't want any weird awkward gaps. And again, I don't leave all this in because it's just not fun to watch. And then I was like, maybe I should layer my other pieces here so that I can work out if the placement's okay or not. So I got the placement to the top left there. I'm sorry if you can hear that car across the road. And then the placement to the bottom right of my photos. I'm just going to close my door. Hopefully that sound is a little bit better now I've closed my front door. You can see that I changed my title. and I've used this, it's actually been cut out of a 3x4 card. I can't remember exactly what it says. Between the pages of a book is a lovely place to be. You can see on the back there, I've layered up a couple of pieces of just scrap paper just to give it a little bit more sturdiness. And then I popped that one up on some foam tape, and it's just going to nestle in there. I really like that. And then as I was trying to come up with a new idea for my title, I found these puffy stickers by Heidi Swap. I think they're from the Colour Fresh collection, though I'm not 100% certain on that. And it's the word discover, and I was like, oh wow, discover, like there's it's, for me, I was like, that's a really versatile word for me to use here. I could go with lots of different things here. So I ended up going with discover the magic, and I toyed with the idea of discover the magic of reading, discover the magic of books, discover the magic of Harry, and I ended up just leaving it at discover the magic, so that, you know, if you're going to sit and read the journaling or look at the page, you can make your own assumption about what that's about. So the journaling on this page is basically saying how proud I am of him that he managed to read all 7 books. But my absolute highlight favourite thing of the whole idea of him reading these books was when I said to him afterwards, so tell me, mate, the books or the movies, what's better? He didn't even think about it, did not hesitate for 1 second. He went, the books, mum, of course. And I was like, yes, that is awesome for this child who struggles with English. I'm like, that is the best thing you could have ever said to me. So just showing you, I'm going to get him to fill that in. He ended up doing 5 stars. I'm going to add my journaling in here in white pen. You'll see those in the close-ups. Make sure you check out Traci's blog. I'll make sure it's linked below, and see the other takes on this fun sketch. I hope that you've enjoyed this. There is a little bit of footage that I'm missing. I added some gold sparkly enamel dots and a couple of other little things. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed my share today. I'd like to see what you create with this sketch. Thank you so much for stopping by, and like I said, I'll make sure I link everything in the description box below. If you have any questions, make sure you drop them below, and I will see you in my next video.